Good evening. Welcome to Thai PBS English News Service. Tonight you're with me, Rungtip Chonapalai. Today is Visakha Busha or Vesak Day, which is considered the most significant in the Buddhist calendar. And this year, Buddhists across the world celebrate Buddhajayanti of 2,600 years of Lord Buddha. At Sanam Luang ceremonial site, Her Majesty Queen Sirikit graciously presided over Visakha Busha festival to commemorate Lord Buddha on this special occasion. Her Majesty Queen Sirikit graciously presided over Visakha Busha festival and Buddhajayanti that marks 2,600 years of the enlightenment of Lord Buddha at Sanam Luang ceremonial ground. Visakha Busha Day is known to mark Lord Buddha's three most important life stages, including birth, enlightenment, and death, which are believed to have happened on the same day. The United Nations has announced Vesak Day as an important day in the world's calendar. Her Majesty the Queen graciously visited the exhibition of Buddhist scriptures or ThaiPBS Pali of King Rama V, who arranged the scriptures in a series of books by transcribing from the ancient Khmer alphabet to the modern Siamese or Thai alphabet and updating the books from being made from palm leaf to normal paper. This Buddhist scripture was first published in total of 39 books in 1893 when Siam or Thailand faced the difficulties potential of Western colonialism. However, after the Buddhist scripture was published, Thailand was able to avoid colonization. Meanwhile, the Dharma Foundation published the first completed version of a 40-book set of Buddhist scriptures in the Roman alphabet to enable understanding throughout the world. Today, many provinces across the country held celebrations to mark Vesak Day, the commemoration of the 2,600th anniversary of Lord Buddha's enlightenment. Crowds of people flocked to temples to walk with lighted candles in hand around the temple as part of the Vesak Day ceremony. In Phra province in the northern province of Thailand, the crowd of Buddhists continued going to Prathat Chohair temple to cast gold images of the Lord Buddha, which will be given to the king later in the year of the king's 84th birthday. Meanwhile, about 1,000 people in Lampang province were planting trees in the grounds of Lampang campus of Chulalongkorn Vidyalai, the University of Monks. General Prem Dinasulanon, Privy Councillor, brought around 1,000 government officers and local people to walk with lighted candles in hand around the Buddha's relics at the mall department store in Nakhon Ratchasima province, while reminding the Buddhist followers to abide by Buddha's teachings. Phuket in the south saw around 1,000 people come to Vichit Sangkharam temple to give food offerings to 99 Buddhist monks as well as to listen to sermons. Additionally, people in Singburi and Uthai Thani province gave dry food offerings to the monks. Meanwhile, people in the northeast in Nong Khai and Kalasin provinces attended Vesak events, including the practice of Dharma and joined a Dharma speaking competition, as well as in Bangkok, the International Buddhist Film Festival 2012 will be held from the 7th to the 10th this year. The opposition Democrat Party has petitioned the Constitutional Court to stop parliamentary consideration of the reconciliation bills. As a result, the House has halted any further debate is the issue for now. The yellow shirts are insisting that they will launch another rally if the parliament attempts to debate the reconciliation bills again. Meanwhile, the Pheu Thai party is preparing to hold discussion as they believe that the Constitutional Court does not have the authority to postpone or stop debate on any issue in the House. Following a ruling by the Constitutional Court, the Pheu Thai party say they do not believe that the Constitutional Court has the authority to postpone or stop a debate on any issue in Parliament. Meanwhile, the Nitiraj Group, a group of academics, has also expressed the opinion via its website that the Constitutional Court does not have the authority to postpone or stop any debate in the House. Meanwhile, the Yellow Shirts say they will wait for the government's next move but confirm that they will rally the movement. A House meeting attempts to debate the issue of reconciliation bills again. General Jamlong Simuang, a key leader of the Yellow Shirts, insists that his movement is not aiming to trigger another coup d'etat. Additionally, Nikom Vayarat Panit, Senate Chief Whip, agreed to push the reconciliation bills forward without following the Constitutional Court's order, as he claims that the court has no right to postpone or restrain any issue in a House meeting. Furthermore, the opposition will submit a letter to Cabinet requesting that there be no House meeting at the moment because Julin Laksanavisit, opposition chief whip, indicates that any House meeting at this time could pave the way for a charter amendment on the issue of the reconciliation bills, which they claim will damage the country's legal system by granting an amnesty to fugitive former Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra. Despite the postponement of the parliamentary debate on the contentious reconciliation bills, uncertainties remain over whether deliberation on amendments to the Anti-Money Laundering Act of 1999 will still be happening. The private business sector is growing worried about potential unrest and Thailand's inclusion on an international financial blacklist.
Members of the Joint Standing Committee on Commerce, Industry and Banking will meet tomorrow to discuss the political unrest, which may intensify further. Both sides of the political spectrum, namely the red and the yellow shirts, have been rallying for and against the controversial reconciliation bills, respectively. Responding to the opposition party's pressure to close the current parliamentary session as a way to prevent a deliberation over the reconciliation bills from taking place, President of the Federation of Thai Industries, or FTI, said that this might affect the discussions and implementation of two anti-money laundering bills, namely the amendments to the Anti-Money Laundering Act of 1999 and another on the prevention and suppression of financial support for terrorism. Thailand was put on the grey list of the Intergovernmental Financial Action Task Force on Money Laundering, or FATF, in 2010 and was later downgraded to the blacklist after failing to enact stronger measures against money laundering to combat the funding of terrorism. If Thailand still does not respond to the issues raised by the international watchdog, the country's international trade and finance may be considerably impeded. The president of FTI is urging all sides to put the country before politics.
There is still no progress in the appointment of a new permanent secretary to the Transport Ministry following the resignation of Supot Saplom, who was found by the National Anti-Corruption Commission to be unusually wealthy. As the Transport Ministry's search for a new permanent secretary gets underway, the Deputy Transport Minister noted that the minister, in consultation with the Prime Minister, is responsible for the appointment. On May 18th, Supot Saplom, the former permanent secretary, resigned from his post, which was 2 days before the National Anti-Corruption Commission, or NACC, concluded that he was unusually wealthy. On May 29th, the NACC issued an order to seize a van worth 3 million baht that belonged to Supot's wife. The vehicle was found to have been given to her by a private firm, hence violating Article 103 of the NACC Act, which stipulates that acting government officials are forbidden from accepting gifts that exceed a value of 3,000 baht. The NACC also granted Supot 15 days to find additional evidence in the case of unusual wealth, which expires next week. Prior to Visakha Busha Day, the Muslim-dominated Deep South saw arson, shootings and bombings. Authorities believe this act by RKK group is in response to the arrest of their hardline leaders a few days ago. The kindergarten building of Talat Nat Ban Ton Makham school in Pattani's Yarang district was burnt to the ground by insurgents. Tomorrow, students will be moved to a nearby location to continue their class activities. The kindergarten is already being rebuilt. A bomb detection unit working in an area nearby was ambushed by insurgents who shot at them using M79 grenade launchers. The authorities tried hunting down the insurgents, but they evaded capture. Even though no arrests have yet been made relating to the incidents, the authorities believe that RKK separatist group is behind the recent unrest after one of their leaders was arrested on June 30th. Meanwhile, in Yala province, a volunteer police officer was shot dead in a drive-by shooting by two men on a motorcycle. Security officials have been on high alert guarding Buddhist Thais in the Deep South on this important day in the Buddhist calendar. This weekend saw some of the largest celebrations seen in the UK for over 300 years as the nation. The Commonwealth and the world join in celebrating Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II's Diamond Jubilee, marking 60 years on the throne. Here's more.
Britain's Queen Elizabeth II and her husband Prince Philip were joined by their two grandsons on the deck of the royal barge on Sunday, waving to the crowds as a flotilla of nearly 700 boats passed down the River Thames in London for a grand celebration of the Queen's 60-year reign. Prince William and Prince Harry were both in military uniform, accompanied by Prince William's wife, the Duchess of Cambridge. More than 1 million spectators braved the hard rain and winds to watch a spectacle not seen for over 300 years. The persistent rain left performers in the pageant and the public soaked and bedraggled, but the Queen, surrounded by her family, was greeted by a cheering, undaunted sea of red, white and blue as she looked out from the royal barge. She braved the rain without an umbrella and stood beneath an ornate canopy to review the flotilla from the royal barge, the Spirit of Chartwell. Her 60-year reign makes her the world's second longest reigning monarch, the longest reigning monarch in the world being His Majesty the King of Thailand, with nearly 66 years on the throne. Hugh Adams, Thai PBS.
And that wraps up tonight's edition of Thai PBS English News Service. Happy Vesak Day. I'm Rung Tip Chonapalai. Thank you for watching. สวัสดีค่ะ